Hi all, welcome back to the final whistle then for another stream on the channel. And tonight we're going to look at the aftermath of relegation as Leicester City was relegated on Sunday after 33 games with 18 points. And yeah, a shit show of a season, as what Jamie Vardy has described the season. And like Ricardo says, there's nowhere to hide. We're going to discuss it. We're going to discuss the future of Ruud van Nistelrooy. We're going to look at some of the managers that's been mentioned today. Sean Dyche, Lee Carsley, Russell Martin, Danny Rowe. And we're going to look at what the players have had to say regarding Vardy, Ricardo, Patson Daka, Bilal El Khanousi's future at the football club regarding the release clause. We're going to look at what Matt Piper has had to say as well. And we're going to look at the articles of Rob Tanner, what he's had to say on the perspective of the relegation of this season, and also potentially John Percy. So, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already. Please get down and do so. It'd help me out massively if you can do that for me. Welcome to the show, everyone. Hope everyone's had a good few days. Evening, Terry. How are you? Jack, are we finishing off the playoffs tonight? Yes, we are. We will be finishing off the playoffs. Got to do a few things after this, but we will be finishing the playoffs. If anyone's referring to what I'm on about, we have a pro clubs team, and that could be very much Leicester City-like at times, with not scoring a goal in that. But it is what it is. Bard, how are you, mate? Hope you're well. I'm okay. I'm still bloody simmering after the relegation, but it was inevitable that it would happen. I think we accepted it, didn't we? That we knew it was going to happen. It couldn't have come sooner, could it, for the Foxes? But a lot to discuss. Like I say, hello, Ross. Rude not gone yet. I mean, Ross, why do you have to be so rude? But he'll be gone soon. He will be gone soon. Dave Coos, how are you, my friend? Hope you're well. Hope you're well, Jack. Back to Sunderland and Stoke next season, pal. Here we go again, Maduck. Daz, big up, Daz. Hope you're well. Daz, we should get you on for a show at some point, mate. We should come in, chat with me about Leicester. I mean, your love for Leicester's very strong. Might have lost a bit of heart this season, but I think we bloody all have. You need to put your name in the hat for the job. Jesus Christ. I don't think I'd do anything on Football Manager, let alone manage Leicester City with a bloody board, what we've got. 26th of June is the Championship fixtures. For anyone that wants to know, the Championship fixtures, like Terry says, 26th of June, 9 o'clock. Be there or be square. We're looking at Lee Carsley, Russell Martin and Danny Rowe, but I don't think we can afford any of them. Well, I mean, it's like affording a bloody Freddo these days, isn't it, when you're following Leicester City? Freddos used to be 10p, now they've gone up for like 35p or whatever they are now. So, we can't bloody afford 35p these days. Can't wait to sit on top of the Fox Travel bus watching Oxford. Hey, that was going to be a good away day next season. The free stands at Oxford. What is it? The Kazam, is it? Is it the Kazam Stadium, I think it's called? But let's get into it then. So, Leicester City relegated from the Championship to the Championship, not free from the Championship. I mean, that might be a future reference for another show, but nah. Relegated from the Premier League, shall we say. And what a torrid season it's been. It's been abysmal. It's been a shit show. Let's be fair. As Jamie Vardy described it in his opening statement to the fans. And Anger, disappointment, embarrassment, and that's exactly what this season has become. From top to bottom, the problems mount up, and a lot of answers need to be done quite quickly for the Foxes. A plan, an identity, which we don't look like we've got. We've got no fight. This club is in tatters, should we call it? And I just don't think I could describe it any better than that, to be honest. But yeah, just glad it's over, to be honest. Well, we've still got 5 games left. We might as well just call them pre-season games, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, it's been utter dreadful, hasn't it? It's side who hasn't scored at home since the 8th of December 2024. Bobby D called over Reed with the goal for the Foxes. So yeah, Leicester have very much broken some really bad records this season. And yeah, things have been very much worse for wear for the Foxes. 9 games at home consecutively defeated without scoring is a English top flight record. No one's ever done it. Leicester's the first team to do it. And yes, it's utter abysmal, isn't it? You know, a side who can't score a goal, and it's worrying. Let's be fair. Too many passengers this season. Yeah, no, I agree, Terry. I agree. Got some solid players for the Championship, though. I mean, yeah, you've got your Will Alves's, your Ben Nelson's, who Ben Nelson's been doing very good at Oxford, isn't he? I mean, they'd like to keep him. I mean, Leicester would like to keep Ben Nelson on next season for sure. We'll have different players coming through next season. Obviously, Fatawu I think he'll be very much staying next season. He's been very outspoken regarding getting the club back to where it needs to be. But yeah, words are very much cheap, aren't they? This season, a lot's been said in the media and that, and nothing's been happening. Like I say, words are only truth if you do something about it, and we haven't. You know, we've the fans have supported the team. Of course, we have. We've criticised. We've backed them home and away this season, and yeah, it's not been a great watch. Can you believe we have a communication director? What do they do? Well, they're supposed to communicate. We've got a director of football who shouldn't be a director of football. Let's be honest. It's just not fit for purpose. Top needed a football advisor with him from the start, if I'm honest with you, you know, and this is it. You know, we've made so many bad decisions and we've just overlooked it and think, you know what, it's okay. We've carried on like it's nothing, and look where it's got us. 2 relegations in 3 seasons, and it's just plain and simple shambolic. I only feel sorry for you, Jack, but no, don't, mate. I think I feel sorry for myself. I think I'm depressed, to say the least. I think I've got past the point of angry, if I'm honest. And this season, 18 points so far this season. The Foxes can finish on the lowest ever Premier League tally for a Leicester City side. And I think the last side finished in 01-02, I believe. Let me just have a look. So yeah, scoring goals has been an issue for Leicester, and they have just 27 in the league, with scoring 11 at home still. The club's record low tally in the Premier League is 30. So yeah, we're very much on the 01-02 season, and their worst in any season is 26. Obviously, Leicester have got 27. Obviously, scored 2 against Brighton. As for their points total, they're currently on 18. Still 10 away from their lowest ever total in the Premier League, 28. The 01-02 season. And yeah, we finished on 28 points that season. We're on 18 now, so we could finish on our lowest ever points tally in the Premier League. Their poorest tally during the former era of a 2 points for a win was 22 points. In the 1908, 1909, 1977, 78 was 22 points in the league. So yeah, we could create a club record for that, can't we? You know, we're 4 points off with 5 games to go, and yeah, it's not good. It's crazy. So yeah, we can finish on the lowest points tally in Premier League history for a Leicester City side, and yeah, we thought bloody Peter Taylor's side were bad, Frank McClintock's, but Van Nistelrooy is going to go down as the worst ever Leicester City manager in stats, isn't he? So I kind of, you know, I don't understand how he's not been sacked. It's an understatement, you know. Any other job, if you're a store manager, if you don't want a building site and you don't do your job, what you're being paid to do and whatever, and you do what's happening, you get a sack, don't you, you know? And this is the same for the hierarchy, the board and that, you know, if they're not doing the job, what they're supposed to be doing, it's not good enough. You know, you move them on and bring somebody in who can do the job. And this is what it is, and this is how far we've come with it, you know. It's a club who, you know, it's difficult to, how do we come back from it? But yeah, we're going to have a look at some articles before we get on to Ruud van Nistelrooy. And of course, Wout Faes, El Canoes, and them types of players. But let me share my screen with you guys firstly. We're going to look at Rob Tanner's article first, my good friend. So Rob has titled as Leicester's disastrous season, catastrophic decisions, bad recruitment and toxicity that turned to despair. I mean, 10 years ago, Leicester City had defied the odds to tee up the most astonishing period in the club's history, winning the Premier League title, lifting the FA Cup and competing in 3 European campaigns. That Leicester City side had unity, work ethic, dependable leadership, good planning, excellent recruitment, and a never-say-die spirit that pulled them through. I mean, I can't say that about this team. This season's Leicester have none of those and have meekly surrendered to a relegation that was confirmed on Sunday against Liverpool. Was their 9th consecutive home defeat without scoring, a top-flight record. Acrimony against members of the hierarchy is growing, with some fans hiring a plane. That obviously went over, didn't it? Reading King Power Clueless, sack the board. Another banner displaying similar sentiments was seen in the corner of the Kop at full-time director of football John Rudkin. Is the figure many protesters see as the most culpable for Leicester's decline. Other can certainly share responsibility. Owner Top Schreiber had a papa. Attended on Sunday and has some big decisions to make. Top of the agenda is the future of Ruud van Nistelrooy, has overseen a disastrous effort to stay in the Premier League. With Ruud, it's like this team's got worse, in my opinion. It's got worse. Under him, Leicester have picked up just 8 points from 20 games. I mean, I think we've got 1 win in 18. I think we've only picked up 4 points this year. So, yeah, it's sort of embarrassing, isn't it? Let's be honest. Yeah, it's crazy. Shortly before kickoff, Scotty refused to stay overnight at the training ground. That was about Harry Winks. Obviously, he fell out of Harry Winks, hasn't he? You know, the reason for his desire to return to his London home each day. Winks faces an uncertain future at the club, but so do many, including Yannick Vestergaard, who also commutes from London, is also out in the cold despite signing a 3-year deal. Yeah, I don't understand how he's got out, to be honest. This will be further complicated by profit and sustainability, obviously better known as PSR. When Leicester were relegated in 2023, the English Football League, which governs the 2nd, 3rd and 4th, attempted to impose a business plan to restrict the club's budget and player trade-ins. Leicester won a legal battle against the EFL and the Premier League over an alleged breach of PSR. However, that issue remains in arbitration process. And the EFL is likely to be looking at imposing sanctions on Leicester. So there's Top. His arms are in the air, like, I don't know. You know, what can you say? Obviously, there was what was a picture of seeing him and Rudkin laughing. When was it? Sunday in about the 83rd minute. We need John to get sacked. Hello, Stephen. How are you? I want a manager who's going to sort out this dressing room, players' attitudes. Yeah, no, I agree. Let's get back on to Rob's article. Before the celebrations began last summer, planning was underway for Leicester's return to the Premier League. Enzo Maresca obviously left for Chelsea. The hangover of previous seasons, the discontent amongst fans and the financial implications of relegations that brought PSR concerns have been challenges. The gamble of appointing an inexperienced yet visionary coach in Enzo Maresca paid dividends. Leicester's hierarchy were back where they thought the club belonged, but they would prove the previous dismal failure was not a blip. Lessons had not been learnt and underlying issues had not been fixed. The long admirers of Graham Potter, who tried to entice him twice before ending Rodgers' there, but Potter had not felt return to football was ready. The clock was ticking for Leicester. Obviously, Cooper had impressed Top during meetings in London where he presented a study of commission that detailed top 5 division leagues. Top ran out of patience with Potter and offered the job to Cooper. They've done well in the Championship, explaining where they could improve and was required to fight. The sacking seemed harsh as Leicester had picked up 9 points in their first 8 games and were 2 points out of relegation, and it came as a huge shock to Steve Cooper. Obviously, Steve Cooper's appointment was very much a panic appointment. Just no thought process, to be honest. And it were never fancied from the start. It was just a last scenario, it's like the club had not planned. They didn't have a sort of looking at a list of who they wanted. If Graham Potter were never going to come, they just gone with what was left. A big concern at board level was that seen as Cooper's abrasive manner, particularly over the club's approach to match officials, were battling in the Premier League. The club didn't want to attract attention. I mean, they're attracting a lot of attention this season. Pre-season recruitment proved problematic. It wasn't just potential manager candidates who had a concern over points deduction. According to sources close to the players, were reluctant to commit. Some players' agents wanted any contracts to include clauses to protect their clients in the event of devastating points deductions. It was announced in September that Leicester had obviously got through it. There's a picture of Whelan and Rudkin out. Keane and Dewsbury all obviously left. The only business Leicester did in January was bringing Woyo Koulibaly for £2 million. He's made 5 appearances with his loan start ending against Brentford. The transfer decision was collectively processed between the recruitment department headed by Martin Glover, Rudkin, and the manager of the time. The recruitment laid the foundations for relegation as Ruud van Nistelrooy consistently selected only one of the summer recruitments, El Canus, and the rest did not enhance the starting 11. So a lot of money's been wasted, but then this is recruitment again in its finest over the last few years. It's been absolutely shambles. Ruud said he had been promised support in January, a familiar claim made by Brendan Rodgers in his final season. Maresca during the previous January transfer window, but again, none was foreseen in because of PSR. Ruud van Nistelrooy promised he was not a football romantic, wedded to one principle, but he was close friends with Enzo, philosopher. But yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Top's got in the players here, calling shots. Jack, why haven't they sacked him yet? Because they can't afford to sack him. This is the problem with Van Nistelrooy. Leicester should have stuck a relegation clause in the contract. There's no break in his contract from November to June. So Leicester are daft enough that the decisions that they keep doing and not thinking the processes through regarding negotiating and that, it's ridiculous. When you're in the relegation battle, surely you'd put a relegation clause in the contract. But then we're talking about Leicester's hierarchy who have made so many bad decisions. It's just gone on and nothing's been sorted. So it's one thing after another. We can get a manager ban for the last few games. We overtake it, so we can get a bigger parachute payment, which could be crucial next season. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. It honestly is crazy. Home fans are not being seen as goal since December the 8th. Fans tried to protest, but January a bit of friends in early. Ruud, like a broken man, the players' body language illustrated a broken team. Disjointed, dejected, demotivated and defeated. It was a miserable end to the horrendous campaign like 2 years ago. There will be no traditional end of season awards dinner. I mean, none of these players deserve to be awarded at all. Probably worst player of the season or something like that. Probably the most diabolical performance of the season. They'd be the sorts of things that you want to bloody give out. Some Christensen and Samare had only ever tasted Premier League relegation during their 3 years at the club. Others, including Winks, were left out of the wilderness after getting on the wrong side of Ruud van Nistelrooy. Sunday's defeat against Liverpool was a culmination of a series of catastrophic decisions and one of the worst seasons ever. If not, is the very worst in the club's history, which it is. If the anger and turn were bad 2 years ago before this time, they were magnified to a point of despair. Some sports even lost the will to protest, feel nothing would change. This time, returning to the Premier League will be much more difficult. So, yeah, that's what Rob Tanner's had to say in his article. We'll look at John Percy's very shortly. Will Ruud van Nistelrooy be managing next season? I don't see it myself. I think Leicester need to get the bloody acts together. That's what we need to do. But we're being ran quite poorly. Let's be honest. These decisions in the hierarchy and that are costing us dearly, and it's cost us 2 relegations in 3 seasons. And end of season meeting between players and top was cancelled, which just goes to show the whole club has gone toxic. Well, it's just been. It's like the training grounds are centre parks, isn't it? Do you get what I mean? They just go there, entertain, kicking a ball around with the mates and that, getting a massage and whatever. No, and it is what it is. They go home. There's just no seriousness to collecting big wages, which John Percy ran about it the other day in his article. 35% wage cut. I mean, Jesus, I think they need a bloody massive wage cut. More than that. I'd probably give them a tenner each next season, if I'm honest. But yeah, let's have a look what John Percy's had to say regarding relegation. And obviously, he mentions a few managers in there. Ruud van Nistelrooy is set for crunch talks over his future this week. Obviously, it'd say next week because it was Sunday that it'd come out. Leicester's players will face wage cuts of a minimum 35%. Vestergaard has been excluded over another commuting row. I mean, he's probably took his bloody dog training ground again. Not willing to bring him back. Matt Hermanson and Bilal El-Khanous could be sold. The English Football League is considering action over potential infringements of profit and sustainability rules during the 23-24 season. Once again, Top and Rudkin are under scrutiny. The investment cannot be in question and they remain committed. The past few years have been littered with mistakes. Relegation this season feels largely like a result of past mismanagement and significant damage from their struggles with PSR. Rudkin is the main target for supporters and his position would be in doubt at many other clubs. However, Leicester operate differently and Top and Rudkin are extremely close. The perceived lack of transparency from the ownership only angers the fans even more. No senior officials have spoken to the UK media since shortly after the famous title win 9 years ago. So this lack of communication between the top of the hierarchy and the fans. The focus has been on the players. They were facing wage reductions. Salaries are further reduced if the club spend more seasons outside the Premier League. Offers will be considered for the most, if not all, of the squad as the club seek to comply with PSR. This is the business model that a result of the rules most clubs of Leicester have to follow. Hermansen, Bilal El Khanous, McAteer are likely to be targeted. Many others, however, on high salaries, even in the Championship and their ages, will make them difficult. This has been the issue with Leicester every season, though. We're giving big, massive Premier League wages to bang average Championship players. Or these players are only coming to the club because of the wages that we're offering them. I mean, would you really turn a club down if they offered you 100k? You wouldn't, would you? And this is where most of our turnover is going in players' wages. We haven't learned a lesson. The disconnect between those players and the fans have never been so vast. The perspective of the quality is too comfortable and unchallenged. Leicester fans refer to the club's £100 million training ground as the Seagrave Holiday Hotel and Spa. A player once described it as an equivalent of the Centre Parks. Well, shows how much luxury they've got, doesn't it? Van Nistelrooy has had problems with Winks and Vestergaard. Both players have since been excluded from his plans for not staying for 1 day a week at the training ground. On Sunday, 2 hours before kickoff, Winks' partner posted a picture on Instagram, which is that one. Midfield, their new baby, what appeared to be at peril spritz. Among many of those questions at a season review, what was the logic in giving Vestergaard a 3-year contract last June? Amid concerns his sustainability for the Premier League, or should I say suitability, he has also been sidelined by the 3 of the last 4 managers. See, I think this is more of an attitude problem. This is where I see it, attitude problem. Those Leicester board backed Van Nistelrooy on his stance, and the future of the former Manchester United forward remains very uncertain. Stop signing players over the age of 30. Yeah, sack the board. Russell Martin, his admirers at Leicester for an identified style of play, but maybe tough sell with the supporters. Now that relegation has been confirmed, Van Nistelrooy will talk to the hierarchy this week. There is no break clause in the contract he signed in November, which runs to June 2027. Danny Rowe is another one, and former Arsenal midfielder Cesc Fabregas is in charge at Serie A club. Como also have support. There is some sympathy for Van Nistelrooy from the board. They recognise that many of the players have performed badly, while the PSR issue threatened could not back him properly in January. See, this is the problem again. And I said it early on in the season about backing him. They should have been honest from the start with Ruud about the January transfer window, you know, saying that we will struggle to back you in the January transfer window to bring your players in. You know, that they've offered Ruud the earth. You know what I mean? They've offered him heaven and earth to come to Leicester and say, you know what, we'll give you what you want. You can bring in your own players. And then all of a sudden it's like finger click and that's it. You're not getting it. They've lied through the teeth, which has been the whole scenario again with the hierarchy. Is regardless personal with no ego despite his trophy-laden career. The FA is expected to closely examine Leicester after taking action for the club's exceeded upper loss. Leicester were placed under a transfer embargo last season. Last summer, the French Edouard. See, this is Edouard again. A guy's probably played about not even a lot of minutes for Leicester. You know, I think we spent $2.5 million on his transfer fee alone, and we're getting bloody £4 million in wages. You couldn't sum it up. Obviously, Jeremy Mongery has been a big positive since coming into the team, which is good to see. He's brought in Jeremy Mongery and Jake Evans. Leicester's greatest ever signed, Jamie Vardy, is out of contract. He has interest from clubs both here and overseas and still feels he can operate in the Premier League at the age of 38. Obviously, there's going to be a Netflix documentary on Jamie Vardy, which is going to be very intriguing in autumn. Leicester, with or without Vardy, Leicester face a huge challenge next season. But yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. And for you guys, the difference quality of the three remote teams have been too big with other 70s. The gap is big, and that's what Ruud had to say. But yeah, it's madness. Yeah, it's mad. Honestly, it is crazy. Why did they get rid of Steve Cooper? That at least to win games for Leicester. The thing is with Cooper, he didn't have an identity in pre-season, and it's always a worry, you know, when there's no identity of the way you want to play and stuff like that. And I just think that was Cooper, you know. We always knew it was going to be low block football, but there just wasn't. What annoys me at the moment, we're not selling out our away allocation. Yeah, no, I agree. Let's have a look what Rob Dorset has had to say then. Let's get into the aftermath of relegation. Ruud van Nistelrooy will meet with Leicester's bosses this week to discuss his future. It's unlikely he will be in charge for next season, but he doesn't want to walk without compensation. I mean, you know, it's been a disaster under him, and man still wants a handout for his bloody work. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. This, like I say, it's been down to the club again where they should have stuck a relegation clause in his contract. But this is typical Leicester fashion. We haven't, because we don't think about properly negotiating. It shows we haven't thought anything through and negotiated things properly. We've just rushed things again. If Leicester sack him now, it will cause PSR problems in current financial year, likely to stay for the final 5 games. I mean, I wish there were bloody 3 games left. It'd quicken the season up better. Let's have a look at manager's situation then. So Rob Dorset says Leicester have drawn up a short list of possible candidates if they decide to replace Ruud van Nistelrooy. It includes Lee Carsley. See, look, Lee Carsley's good at the England setup. You know, he's good at bringing the young players through and developing them on the international level and that. Obviously, we've got Jeremy Mongery, Will Alves, Ben Nelson. I think it'd be good for them types of players. Danny Rowe has had many problems at Sheffield Wednesday regarding Chanzeri and bloody players not getting paid. He's had to work with what he had and, you know, sort of get a tune out of this team, you know, and they looked definite for relegation last season. He came in and got them out of it, got them safe. And this season, you know, more problems are mounted. But Danny Rowe, I think it would be a good appointment for Leicester overall. I think other teams have looked at him in Germany and that. Russell Martin, I'm not keen. I'm just not keen on the idea. Looks increasingly likely Ruud van Nistelrooy will leave before next season, but more discussions will take place later this week. I mean, they'll say this week, but then they'll drag it on again. You know what I mean? I want Liam Rossini. You know what? Liam Rossini won't be a bad shout, but if they make European football, Strasbourg, then, yeah, Liam Rossini is not going to want to fancy Leicester City, is he? He's not even going to take one look at us. I mean, with the club in the mess at the minute and how things have gone over the last few years and that, I don't think any manager should even take a look at us with how things have gone. Sean Dyche, I mean, I've been very vocal on it. I'd take Sean Dyche. I think we need someone with very strong-minded, someone who's very says it how it is, a strong character like Nigel Pearson. Of course, Sean Dyche, he follows them sort of categories. Leicester are apparently ready in a move, according to the Football Insider. Obviously, we take them with a pinch of salt, but Sean Dyche won't be a bad appointment. You know, he's done the Championship before with Burnley, got the best out of that team with what he had. I mean, bringing Brexit football to the King Power Stadium, let's be honest. That'd be an interesting one. Am I the only one who knows it's going to be Sean Dyche? Do you know what? I'd say Sean Dyche. Liam Rosenior staying, Martin to Norwich or Rangers, and Danny Roll going to RB Leipzig. Armchair jockey. It won't surprise me, mate, you know. I reckon, see, Steve Cooper had 6 weeks to get his team together and everything like that, pre-season a lot. And it's just slow motioned again, you know, rushed, money spent on Oliver Skip, 25 million quid or whatever it was, the transfer fee, and we blow money out like it were no one's business, you know. We brought in Deacon Overeed on a free, Jordan Ayew for £8 million. We splashed the cash. I mean, El Canous was probably the best one to come in, which we'd spent money on in the summer. Obviously, Caleb Okoli, it's not worked out for him. You know, I think he maybe go to the Serie A again in the summer. But this is it. You know, Leicester should be planning for the Championship now, in my opinion. They've got to get a manager and know what style of football they actually want to play, because you look at us at the minute, we have no idea of what we're actually doing. You know, we need a philosophy, we need an idea, we need a style of football, we need the manager to suit that style of football, you know, and we've got to get the right manager in. But, you know, we go into panic mode like we did with Cooper and things like that, you know, and we don't think the decisions through 100%. Cooper favourite for West Brom. Rosenior thinks he's next in at Chelsea and will work with Klopp. Maybe. It's madness. Obviously, we've got to start planning, like I say, now for next season. Got to get the manager through the door. He's got to get to see what players he can work with and what he can't, and bring in the players. They've got to back him. But then you look at the implementations with the EFL regarding the sanctions they, are looking to give. But yeah, it's madness, to be fair. Can you trust the club to make the right decision? It shows in the last three so year we haven't. So yeah, it's going to be another big summer for Leicester. As the Championship beckons. But let's have a look what some of the players have had to say. Surely they can't afford Dyche here, want like 5 million quid. Let's have a look what some of the players have had to say then. We'll start with Ricky P. Obviously, a lot of the players have spoke after the relegation. Ricky P, when you go down with 5 games to go, it's more than just a bad season. It's a very difficult moment, but we have to face it. The truth is we failed. Several things went wrong this season as individuals, and as a club we have to take responsibility. There were moments where we didn't show enough, moments where we should have done more. In this league, there's no mercy. If you're not at your best, now there's only one thing to do: focus on the present, finish the season the right way, and make the most of what's left. There's no hiding. Do you know what? That's captain speaking. That is captain leadership material, that. Jamie Vardy. I mean, I love Jamie Vardy to bits, and this guy has been brutally honest, and this is what you want to see from your club captain. The club should be speaking out about everything, about the season and that, you know. But Jamie Vardy, I think he's already done it for him, to be honest, and, you know, he feels the fans' pain. He's one of us, and, angriness and sadness and embarrassment is what he's called it this season. At this point, I don't even know what to say. No words can ever express my feelings of anger and sadness with the way this season has gone. There are no excuses. Exactly that. Straight into the point. No excuses. Collectively, as a player and as a club, we failed. There is simply no hiding, and I refuse to entertain any suggestions of doing so. Like I said, he talks about the clubs and the players. Having been at this club for so long, let me just get rid of that. We've experienced so many highs and successes, and this season has been nothing but miserable for me personally. A total embarrassment. It hurts, and I know you're feeling it too. Exactly that. To the fans, I'm sorry. Sorry we haven't performed, and sorry we end the 25 season with such a shit show. Straight to the point, honestly. Couldn't have put it better myself, Jamie. Obviously, Jamie Vardy's future is very much up in the air at the minute regarding will he stay or will he go. But yeah, Jamie Vardy speaks exactly truth. Carsey's cheapest option. Cody's interview after the game was interesting. Exactly. You know, Patson Daka. I'm not going to put them all on because it will take a lot of time. It's difficult to express how to feel right now, but I wanted to take a moment to thank the fans for your support this season, even when we didn't deserve it. We didn't show enough, but we will work together and do our best to bring the club back to where it belongs. And that's from Patson Daka. Obviously, Fatawa's put one out. Mats Hermansson, Connor Cody's spoken as well, you know, and it's about being brutally honest and, you know, taking responsibility as a team. And you can see Bilal El-Khanous, obviously Sacha Tavlieri, he's saying that Bilal El-Khanous will have a contract release clause. Leicester's relegation is set to change the future of Bilal El-Khanous, having arrived in the summer. And Moroccan attacking midfielder has already attracted interest and has opened the door to a potential departure during the upcoming transfer window. A reasonable release clause was negotiated in his contract to make it an exit easier. I mean, yeah, well, knowing us, we'll bloody sell him on the cheap and not make money from him. We've got to make some good money for El-Khanous, let's be honest. But yeah, Wout Faes was another one that Sacha Tavlieri had spoke about. And yeah, Faes looks like he's agreed to move on. Obviously, they are going to part ways in the summer. It was sort of talked about £15 million, but I don't think we'd get him 15p. Faes, I mean, yeah, he's going to be gone in the summer, and let's be fair. There's obviously going to be interest from other clubs like Fiorentina. I think it's one of them. A few Italian clubs and that, but yeah, I think we'd be happy to see the back of some of these players this season. El-Khanous, £30 million, no less, exactly that. Yeah, Hermansson will get a bit as well. Matt Piper talks about the hierarchy on the When You're Smiling podcast. Said the Foxes decision makers have not been good enough for a while now. We have been flip-flopping around for too long now. Yes, we did have success last season, but we've gone straight back down. He added the recruitment for managers and players have been all over the place for too long. It's not been good enough. We haven't been signing the right kind of managers and players. We've been getting it wrong. It's clearly that the whole football hierarchy department of King Power is not the right fit, and it hasn't been for some time. Strong words by Matt Piper there. Let me know if you agree with what Matt's saying. Obviously, strong words from Matt Piper on Radio Leicester. But yeah, that is it. I think we've covered everything in this 45 minutes. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this stream, hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already. Please get down and do so. More content to come on the Final Whistle for sure. Thank you for watching as always. Yeah, we'll have a match day vlog out. Wolves on Saturday at Molineux. I mean, can't go bloody any worse, can it? But that is it from me. Thank you for watching. Keep it at the Final Whistle. Have a great rest of the evening, wherever you're up to. And I'll see you soon. Hi all, thank you for watching the Final Whistle. If you enjoy all our content, please remember to smash a like, share and subscribe to the channel.